Greetings everybody, it's Nobody, and today I would like to give you my opinion on what are Kusoge and why they appeal to some people. Of course, my opinion may not align with yours, and that's okay. So, let's begin with the first question. What is a Kusoge game? So, bad video games. What are they? By bad video games, I certainly mean Kusoge, shitty games that earn their status by being a low effort or an attempt at a high effort terrible video game, which is usually made by small, more often than not independent or semi-independent studios. I don't consider recent gaming flops like Concord or recent Assassin's Creed games as Kusoge. The definition may vary here, but to me, Kusoge is a game that can be considered as a so bad it's so good category, where the thing that may attract you to it is based on intentional moments that won't pass in a truly high-effort big game, but will pleasantly surprise gamer with absurd situations that a bad product can give, which in turn produce only positive emotions. Sure, there will be a dozen of shitty games that would induce only bad heart, and as an example, I would like to touch upon Not a Treasure Hunter, which is a very terrible game that has a lot of endings that are nothing boogers and can barely be considered as the endings. With the only redeeming quality of this game is having Char's voice actor for main character. Yet still, this game brought me a lot of joy and a lot of fun memories just by me trying to understand how it works, how clunky it is to operate, and how nonsensical each route is. And despite all of that, I would still rate this game way higher on my personal gaming list than any recent AAA release. I guess it's a contrarian opinion, I think, but this is just my subjective opinion on Kusoge. I may be a little bit crazy for preferring Kusoge to normal games, but that's that. And still, there are a lot of certified modern cult classics that may be considered as bad games, but personally, I can't call them Kusoge. I personally don't like Fear and Hunger as a game. It's the brutal, unfair difficulty makes one think that the game was made intentionally bad, which maybe it was, but it was not bad, but intentionally hard, and it's highly praised in niche circles. Yes, so that's the distinction, because it's intentionally hard, not intentionally bad, and thus I won't consider this game as a Kusoge. So what would be my criteria for Kusoge game? Okay, the first one is that the game wasn't made intentionally bad. The second one, that it turned out to be a barely playable mess. And the third is that it would have at least some redeeming qualities, which are maybe optional and subjective, because not everybody would like Kusoge for its qualities, but some certainly would. So, what are the cases of Kusoge? Not a Treasure Hunter, God forbid, Apache Narukamegakwe and Tonshi Densetsu, I forgot what it was, that DS game. Maybe the initial release of Final Fantasy XIV, certainly Tomb Raider The Angel of Darkness, and certified classic Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. And some cases of not Kusoge games, Cyberpunk 2077. Sure, the initial reception was justifiably cold. The game was barely playable, but it wasn't made intentionally bad and had a lot of redeeming qualities after all the fixes it has received. I think it's mostly a mismanagement problem. Then, Fear and Hunger. Well, this game may look as it was made intentionally bad, like I've said before, the overall execution of the game proves that it was handled with care, and that gameplay, being hard, isn't a bad aspect of the game, but the core element of it, and it may be seen as a redeeming quality. So I would call it a game targeted at a specific audience. And the last example, which used to be popular back in late 2000s and early 2010s, Urban Action or Cat Mario. Then this game won't fit under my definition of Kusoge. And first of all, it was made intentionally bad. Yes, but this game was also a more or less a solid mess. It was not just bad, but it was a solid mess that only rage baited people. So basically, it was a trolling game, not a Kusoge. So let me restate what would be my criteria is that the game was made intentionally bad, wasn't made intentionally bad. People thought that the game is actually good. Then it turned out to be a barely playable mess, and maybe it would have at least some redeeming qualities. Maybe not. So the second question is why people may be attracted to them. Given that Kusoges are not the best examples of games, it may raise the questions such as why some weirdos like this type of games. Yes, these bad games own their reputation as bad games, not for no reason at all. Most of the games that are considered Kusoge classics are also fairly old. They were released back from the era where we had a lot of more successful titles on the market, and where releasing a truly bad product would lead to everyone knowing that it's a bad product. So I don't think that Kusoge developers of PlayStation 1 games and maybe PlayStation 2 thought that they're making a truly bad game. I think the financial risk didn't worth it, to say the least. I guess there was some genuine attempt at making something that resembles a video game, maybe due to bad development choices or something. It turned out to be a Kusoge. But nowadays we can see a lot of shitty games on the digital storefronts that were made just barely resembling a game intentionally, so it can't be considered a Kusoge in my opinion, because this game was made intentionally bad. They lack this genuine part of trying to resemble a real video game. Instead, I think they're all just commercial products that are targeted to rob you of your money and maybe just by some weird tactics like give you a lot of achievements or just being with a funny name, but giving zero play value. If they have some play value, I guess they're not Kusoges. And what about quality releases? Most of them go away from the formula, bringing more of a perfect realistic approach where you're bound with words like lose narrative dissonance or harmony. We more and more see games as an art and not just toys that are made to be enjoyed as toys. So basically, I guess it also raises this definition of Kusoge, because we can also say that a bad video game is just some art statement. But I think that what really made Kusoge interesting and fun is not that they're trying to be an art. They were trying to be toys that are somewhat broken, but you have some fun with it. Some toys may be just shitty. I guess if you live in a third world country, you can remember these Chinese ripoffs of Lego that weren't as good as the real Lego pieces, but still offered you some joy by solving as a toys. And I don't think that kids care whether the toy is a real one or a cheap ripoff, as long as it gives them joy. And I guess, Kusoge may be seen as a liberation from the chains of modern gaming culture. Sure, we still have classics from PlayStation 1 era, but whether you're familiar with them or not, you can form some expectation, like what this game will be about and how it will play. But if it's not classics, but some unknown games, just any example of Kusoge, you barely know what to expect. And the game may be unhinged enough to genuinely surprise you, and while not being even mediocre experience, may forever be engraved into your hall of video games as that one remarkably bad video game that somehow was more memorable than mediocre or even some great games, just by the virtue of being a fun toy. A fun toy, not a fine piece of art, a piece of gaming media, but just by being a fun toy. So yeah, that's all I can say about Kusoge. You can comment about what do you think Kusoges are, whether you agree or not. It would be interesting to see a different approach to the definition of Kusoge.